Hi, my name is Sierra Mansker, and today I'm here to tell you the truths about library collections. This is a presentation on collection policies, self-censorship, and an article review. So first and foremost, what is the need for a policy for collections? So starting out across the board, having a policy for library collections ensures that schools across the district are aligned to each other and the district set goals and mission statements. With everybody being on the same page, this allows for the policies to be upheld everywhere and for everyone to really know what to expect from the library. And when I mean everyone, I mean people that are in the campuses, such as staff members and students, but also our community at large. Another need for policy in collections is that we are utilizing school and local demographics for library collection development to tailor to the community. And that just means that in our policies, we are taking account to all of the different peoples that are in our community and making sure that our collections celebrate that diversity and have opportunities for students to learn more about themselves, their cultures, as well as what might be locally available. And lastly, the need for policy for collections. It validates that the materials in the circulation are factual and relevant to the needs of the students as lifelong learners. And what I mean by relevant is that it's relevant to what they are enjoying to read, because now we're seeing that students really like more graphic novels, so that's relevant to them. But it's also relevant to their readability levels, what their interests are, as well as, again, what is locally available to them in the community, and again, using that data and the demographics to see what students are likely to be exposed to and offering those resources to elevate those experiences. What we often run into as a problem in the library field is this notion of self-censorship. So self-censorship can be described as the conscious or subconscious bias that a person directly involved with the circulation of collection may impose on the availability of the items within the library setting. Most often this is done by the librarian themselves, but it could also be by someone in administration who would be directly involved in whether or not they would like to allow a certain resource to be available. However, that is a direct violation of the intellectual freedom rights that all citizens, including our students, benefit from. There's a couple quotes that I found from an article by Moeller and Becknell that hit some highlights here. The first one kind of struck me pretty hard because it said in 2002, a study of high school librarians here in Texas found that self-censorship was practiced in 82% of its sample. Now, I recognize that this has been a little bit ago since this case was held, but still, 82% is quite a large amount of self-censorship taking place. And then further on in that article, I found that there was a relationship between book challenges and self-censorship, noting that of librarians who experienced a book challenge, 25% indicated that their purchasing decisions in the future were influenced by that experience. So we're seeing some outside factors attribute to self-censorship. So what do we do about it? Well, according to Mueller and Becknell, most of the librarians reporting take extra care with specifically the graphic novels selection. And some indicated that they had been progressively becoming increasingly more careful or hesitant with the graphic novel selection as they've gained more experience with this genre. And I can say that I noticed that there are some of my staff members who are also very hesitant with graphic novels because it's really, truly ignorance and they're just not very well educated on what graphic novels are and how they are so beneficial. And that's why I wanted to add this data piece here in the middle, because today I pulled up my circulation reports through Destiny and I found that 15% of the books that are checked out by my students are graphic novels. And I have a student population who are hesitant readers. So for 15% of them to be choosing graphic novels, that is a hefty amount of my students. And that means that I need to be very aware of the self-censorship that might be within myself, but also within staff members in their classrooms when they're talking to students about their different book choices. So that way we can make sure that we're promoting literacy. Because what it means to me from the quote there that was given in 2022, as well as in my data, is that students want the graphic novels. And so what we need to do is we need to be following our policies and making sure that the graphic novels that we adopt into our circulation, into our collection, are relevant to the student needs and the students' levels of where their readability are, as well as their maturity levels and their developmental levels. Lastly is our article review over quality or appeal, which is more important. So as librarians, we may feel that we have to choose between what we think is naturally a good book and what students have shown interest in. However, after reading this article by Todd Kyler, who is the former president of the Canadian Association of Children's Librarians, he reminds us that the answer is both. Books that have one or the other, and especially books that combine the two. But what we should avoid are books that are neither, and that's the blandest of the bland. And I really took that to heart because sometimes I do find myself looking at a book and I'm like, man, this is just a silly book. It has no quality. But at the end of the day, as long as what a student is reading follows within our policies and is developmentally relevant to the student, reading is reading. And so I would be happy for them to pick any book, regardless if I think that it has the quality that they are getting from it. So again, this is where we must fall back on our policies. Is the text relevant to the student needs and wants, or are we practicing self-censorship by not allowing the book into the collection? So I'm going to make sure to be asking myself those questions in the future. And here are my references. Thanks. Bye.